a Q&A session. Tammy's shopping, so I'm doing it by myself right now. DT9980, any ideas why machine gives me these errors? We're talking about the Funke machine. Transmission abnormal, circuit system abnormal, can you help me? Well, you got a problem, and I don't know who you bought this from. If you bought it from us, then give us a call and we'll figure this out so we can get you another one hot shot from Chicago. If you bought it from somebody else, you're going to have to deal with them. But I've never seen that, but it's definitely, it's got some kind of a mechanical error if I was guessing. Richard Bryant says, I just lost a puppy, please restock these. He's talking about auction concentrates. Yes, I'm frustrated with getting these in. I apologize for the delay on this. They should have been here 10 days ago and I'm still waiting. So the moment they're in, we've got some for you, and I'm hoping that it's going to be in the next few days. But right now it's stuck with the UPS, and it's frustrating. And I know it's frustrating for you, especially when you lose a puppy and you need an auction concentrator. So, yep. Dogs, what is the best stain to get? So we're talking about dog silent heat, and I talked about vaginal cytology. For vaginal cytology, you go take a Q-tip, you put it up inside the dog's vulva, you then roll it out like this, roll it out onto a microscope slide, and then you have to stain it. And a diff stain, D-I-F-F stain, is a stain that I've used, a 2-part stain. But just go on to Amazon, there is a wealth of stains out there that you can buy in little bottles. You hardly use any, and they're not expensive. They will stain the crap out of your fingers and your clothes. So, you just need they normally use a 2-part stain because it shows up different parts of the cell structure differently. Without the stain, everything's translucent and it's very hard to tell what's going on. So you do want to get the stain. Last time I bought stain was probably 2 years ago on Amazon. I don't know, it was 25 bucks or something for like 5 bottles of 5 different stains. They're all good, they're all fine. Okay, Burton Exotic Bullies. I have a female pocket bully I mated exactly 43 days ago. I brought her to the vet for an ultrasound on day 40. They said they couldn't find any pups, but she still looks pregnant. Her stomach is still growing. What should I do? I would go get a relaxant blood test, and you can order those from our website, mybreedersupply.com. It's easy to do. You do have to draw blood, but that gives you the results, and that will tell you whether she's pregnant or not. And so if she doesn't come up pregnant on that, and the vet says she's not pregnant, then unfortunately she's not pregnant. Okay, Elizabeth Ibarra. I have a girl having her first false pregnancy, and it seems to be pretty mild on the symptoms, but nonetheless it's a false pregnancy. My question is there something I can do to help her? No, there isn't. You just gotta let her get on with it. Nope, nothing. There's no treatments. I mean, that I'm aware of. There's nothing. So here's the deal. When a dog goes through a heat, the progesterone levels rise regardless of whether the dog was bred or not. So, and what happens in some dogs, it then produces on what's called a false pregnancy, where they can have all the signs. Mammary glands start to grow. They may be producing milk. I've even heard, and I don't know this is, I believe it, but I've even heard they'll actually go into labor. Now, that would scare a person because you don't want to go and have a C-section done and find there's no puppies inside. I don't know whether that's the right information. It seems unlikely to me, but that's what I've been told. But what can you do at this point? Not a thing. Just let it get on with it. Let it get on with it. I have a lilac and tan male. What color would you recommend? Another lilac and tan or a merle? Oh, sure. I mean, if you want to get all the colors out, lilac and tan for sure, because you'll get lilac and tans. And if it's a lilac and tan merle, you'll get half of them will be merle lilac and tans, and half will be lilac and tan. So yes, absolutely. Okay, so we're talking about the fixing flat-chested by taping their legs up. What if you do have traction, they still do it? So what I'm talking about here is that when we tape their back legs up, we want to get them off their stomachs, and the way to do that, because their legs splay out behind them like a walrus. So what you do is you tape their legs up underneath them, and then they have to get up on their legs to move around. They can't swim anymore. So I've never seen one this didn't fix. I don't know quite what Jen is doing here to be able to give you specifics about what I do. But I can tell you the only thing that I do know that you can get this to fix this is to take their legs up and put them on something that has, you know, some traction to it. It could be an egg crate, it could be some paper, it could be some towels, but they need to have traction. Kia Plante says, thank you for your valuable information. I'm getting my first puppy, not from a shelter, and I'm looking forward to her heat cycles. In fact, I'm dreading it. I'm not looking forward to heat cycles. In fact, I'm dreading it. I'll have to wait at least 2 years till I can get her new... this video... Okay, well, you don't have to wait 2 years. No, I don't know who's telling you that. No. Yeah. I mean, talk to your vet about this. I think they recommend that they have the first heat cycle. I'm not even not sure that's even necessary. Look, we don't do surgery on dogs that are 6 months old, but by the time they're a year old, they absolutely can have this done. So I'm not sure why you're waiting 2 years. If you don't want to put up with heat cycles, then go get it done. There's not a problem with that. Sarah Schilling. How common would, we're talking about absent heat cycles, how common would you say this is? So an absent heat cycle is not a silent heat, it's not a prolonged heat, it's a heat that flat doesn't happen. And how often does that happen? Not very often. So I think the majority of the time they were misdiagnosing a silent heat as an absent heat. I personally have never seen an absent heat. So I did have a dog one time that just took forever to come into heat and I could never get her bred. I tried and never succeeded. But she could be a year and a half between heat cycles. You know. This is a video I did on progesterone testing, and this guy says, Tolja29 says, nicely done, sir. What a beautiful Frenchie she is. Thank you. As a paramedic, you give me the willies waving that Sharpie around. You clearly have lots of experience. Thank you for passing on. Well, you're exactly right about that. So, you know, I've never had a problem with this, but absolutely, needles are just sharp as heck, and you can, you know, stick it in the wrong place. So I take your comment kindly, and you're right, and pay attention to what you're doing with sharp things, especially needles. So Togella's right. Chrissy Leach is asking about oxygen concentrators. Will it be back in stock? I want to purchase ASAP. I'm hoping next week, Chrissy. Sorry for the delay on this, it's frustrating. KR says, can you do a video on pros and cons of breeding on the first heat? I don't think I've done one. Maybe I will do one on that, but I'll touch on it here right now. Here's the answer in a nutshell. Don't breed a dog till it's a year old. Most dogs will have had their first heat before that happens, so they'll be on their second heat, which is what we'd like to see. If you breed a dog on the first heat and it's a year old or older, then you do have a fairly good chance it won't get pregnant. Certainly younger dogs on their first heats, they're not very stable, and so it's a little harder to find out when that peak is for the right place to do an AI. It's not that you're going to run into trouble, it's just that you may not get a pregnant dog out of it. Someone's asking about, Liz Rivera says, how can I crop my dog's ears? Well, we don't do that on Frenchies, so I've never cropped a dog's ears. I know that, you know, min pins and things like that, you do this too, but it's definitely an art to this, so you definitely want to get with somebody who knows what they're doing to get this right, otherwise you can really butcher an ear up and it looks like hell. So I can't help you on this, but there'll be a lot of people who can. Definitely you want to talk to somebody who's done it, right? That's the secret about all this. Everybody wants to be an expert, including me, but unless you've done it a lot of times, you're not an expert. So get somebody who knows what they're doing to help you with this. ATV UK says, I was hoping to get an answer on this. If you put a lilac dog to a new shade Isabella, would you get visual chocolates or would they all be lilacs? Well, a new shade Isabella is a dog that is a lilac dog with testable chocolate. If you put that with a lilac dog, then you would get all lilacs that would carry a copy of testable chocolate every time. Michelle Ruby, I have a Frenchie and I never had to wait this long for a female to go into heat. My boxer in Boston came in at about 7 to 8 months with her first. I'm starting to wonder if she's doing silent heat. She also has an inverted vulva, so I'm wondering if that's hindering it, noticing it. Has anyone ever dealt with this? Well, yeah, the chances are, you didn't say how old she is. Look, if she's less than a year and a half old, I wouldn't get too worried about this, because some dogs take that long before they have their first heat. Quite normal, nothing to be worried about. Certainly an inverted vulva might trap more of the blood and not let it out. Maybe it gets reabsorbed and it's hard to see it. I would do this. Every week, take a Q-tip, stick it up in there, just take a look at it, see if you see any color change. That's it, not much. And then if you do, you can start to do some vaginal cytology and or progesterone tests. And I think that is it for this one. That's 11 minutes worth. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody. Hey, thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate people who subscribe to me. It helps me, encourage me to do more of these videos. But do remember, disclaimer here, I am not a vet. I'm not a licensed medical professional. I'm purely a person who's been breeding dogs for the last couple of decades. Any information that you got from this video, use at your own risk. There's nothing implied here, and certainly this should not be used as a substitute for advice from your veterinarian or your medical professional. I hope you enjoyed the video. Come back for more of them. Bye.